Right, I'm just setting up my hammock just so I can have a sit down and I can tell you a bit more about rubbish games in a bit more detail, kind of how it's going to work. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, that is good. Sorry if you can hear loads of noise in the background. There's some people having a really good time in the river, which is fair enough because it is pretty hot today. So this is going to be a bit more detail about my project, Rubbish Games, and what it is and how it's going to work. The idea is to collect loads of the rubbish and fly tipped stuff and just general litter from the woods that I live near, take it to my workshop, and then to build a sculpture, kinetic interactive sculpture that people can interact with and play with, which can be like a mobile installation basically. I've lived around here now for nearly 8 years and I've always run in these woods and I've always seen like fly tipped rubbish everywhere. A couple of years ago I started making a map of where all the stuff was on Google Maps, just dropping pins every time I passed a bit, like not just a crisp packet, I mean like a fly tipped bike or something like that. So I have a map of where all the different bits of kind of fly tipped rubbish are. So that's how I know where it is. So the actual sculpture, it's hard to imagine at the moment because I haven't made it and I haven't got the stuff to make it with yet. I've made in the past ball runs and kind of mechanical contraptions and things like that out of kind of used materials, like reused materials, and things that people can interact with. So I'm imagining that this will be some kind of sculpture that maybe people wind a handle and that does something, or there's levers which people can pull. Maybe it's a game that 2 people can play where they have to guide something somewhere or something using the handles, but basically it's interactive. I don't know if it's going to look like it's made out of rubbish or whether it's going to look quite nice and sculptural, so you can't really tell. I haven't decided yet. I think that'll depend a bit on what the materials I get and the time I have. Yeah, that's the basic idea behind the sculpture, and then obviously to take it to events and festivals and stuff and have it as an installation, and I'll be with it. And I'm also planning to make a little video to go with the sculpture, and there'll be a little QR code which people can scan, and then they can see where all the different parts have come from. So it's just raising a bit of awareness, but people are having fun. It's the main thing is that people have fun with it and play with it, and then maybe they have a bit of awareness around where the stuff's come from, kind of litter and all that kind of thing, but hopefully in a positive way. Yeah, so that's the sculpture. The rubbish is in the woods, and I'm lucky enough to have a workshop with a fair bit of space to actually make the sculpture. But I need to transport the stuff from the woods to my workshop. Let me check how far it is to the workshop. It's between 5 and 7 kilometers from here. I'm going to try with this project, well, basically to have as low a carbon footprint as possible. So wherever possible, I'm going to be transporting everything using human power only. I've got a few things that are going to help me to do that. I've got my bike, and I've got a trailer for the bike, and I've got an inflatable kayak. There's a nice path actually that runs all the way along the woods, pretty much all the way to my workshop basically. Half of it I can't use because it's kind of off-roady and I've only got a road bike. Half of it I can use because it's like a tarmac proper cycle path. So that's going to be great with the trailer to transport the stuff. But also along the whole woodland is a river. So I'm thinking if there are any heavier bits or more stuff which is further away, more upstream, upriver, I can make a raft or tow it behind my kayak. Obviously a lot of the stuff is actually in the woods off the trails, so I'm going to be going through brambles and stuff, and that is the plan for transporting the stuff. I'm going to try and do as much as possible using human power only. I think it's going to be hard, but I also think it's going to be a good challenge and a good adventure. So I am lucky enough to have a workshop, which I have a lot of tools. I've got a lot of electrical power tools, I've got welding facilities, I've got all that stuff. But I'm going to try and not use any of those things, power tools, welding and stuff, because obviously they all emit carbon in some way or another. So I'm going to try and replace using electrical tools with using hand tools only. So I'm probably going to have to think of some new ways to attach things, new ways for me anyway. Yeah, so I think that's basically covering all the main details of the project. So I'm going to document the whole process. I'm going to try and show everything from collecting all the materials, getting them to the workshop, and then building it, and then hopefully also seeing the actual finished thing in action, like people using it. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be a nice project. I've not done anything like this before, but I'm up for a challenge. All right, I reckon that's it for now. I'm gonna go and look at a tree over there because there's a good tree which I think I might want to sleep in at some point. So I'm gonna go and have a look at that. Bye.